Okay, now let's turn our attention to a little bit of boxing. Now let's hear from the head of Queensberry Promotion, Frank Warren, who joined Andy Goldstein and Andy Townsend on Drive Time earlier. He compared the breaking news that Tyson Fury and Usyk being postponed to the Rumble in the Jungle.
Let me tell you something. One of the biggest fights in memory is the Rumble in the Jungle. Right. And that got postponed because George Foreman got a terrible cut, and it got postponed for a period of time, and before he fought Muhammad Ali. And eventually it happened, and we're in a similar situation. Okay. This is the biggest fight of this century, and it's exactly the same, really the same thing that happened back there in Kinshasa back in the 70s.
There he is, Frank Warren, breaking the news really here on Drive a little bit earlier. Queensberry Promotions there, Frank Warren. Let's go and speak to Ade Oladipo, who joins us now. He's over in the States. Ade, good evening, welcome.
Morning here.
It's morning.
Still early in the morning. Still.
What's the weather like there? What's the temperature like there?
Just 30 degrees. Nothing special.
Whereabouts are you in the States?
I'm in Las Vegas.
Oh, you're in Vegas. Wow.
I'm in Vegas. Conor Benn's fighting out here.
Indeed.
Tomorrow, we're out here covering that.
Well, listen, we can see you on the screen. Ade, listen, what was your reaction when you heard the news?
Gutted. Absolutely gutted. We've waited for over 20 years for an undisputed heavyweight title fight. The last line is obviously Lennox Lewis was involved in it. But we've never had an undisputed heavyweight title fight with all 4 belts on the line and the Ring magazine chucked in as well. So gutted, 2 weeks away. Obviously, all this conspiracy theorists are running wild, and I understand why, but having seen the cut, you can understand why this fight's off. It's a bad one.
Ade, do you think that this will be rescheduled?
I'm not sure. I know Frank Warren's optimistic it will be, but again, Rory, you see the cut, and that's a cut where he's out of the ring for months. Then it takes him having to spar again. And will Alexander Usyk wait? I don't think he will. I think Alexander Usyk's going to go another direction. And by the time that happens, who knows? Alexander Usyk could lose. So, I mean, with boxing, you keep rolling the dice. Your numbers aren't going to come up. So I don't think it will be. I feel like we might have missed this one. And I think both fighters might go in separate directions now.
So with that in mind, Ade, could this potentially mean that Tyson Fury retires? Like, if there isn't a fight for him, if this fight doesn't happen, he's coming to the tail end of his career anyway. Is there potentially a retirement for Tyson Fury ahead?
With Fury, you just don't know, do you? You honestly don't know. I sat down and spoke to him a few weeks ago, looking ahead to this one, and sometimes with him, you kind of don't know. He almost loves boxing, but at the same time, there's a part of him that I think doesn't really like the sport. Obviously, he makes a lot of money, and that will always keep him in the boxing ring. But, I mean, if he misses the opportunity to fight Alexander Usyk, you really have to say who's out there for him to fight. Could it be AJ if AJ gets past Ngannou? I'm not sure. I think we'll still see him in the ring, but it wouldn't shock me if Fury comes out and says, you know, I've had enough. See you later, folks. Cheerio. Wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, but there's so much money, Ade. We know how boxing works. When there's money, these fights tend to happen. We're talking 50 million or 100 million pound fight here.
Yeah, no, you're right.
50 million each.
Yeah, you're right. There is so much money on the table, more than they've ever seen, and that will always be the draw. But I mean, for Tyson Fury, the Wolves aren't at his door. He's okay financially. Yep. He's made a lot of money recently in boxing. Not just the recent Ngannou fights, but the Wilder fights before that, Chisora fight, Dillian White fight, which sold out stadiums in the UK. So he's okay financially. He's got a family, he's got loads of kids. He's achieved whatever he wanted to achieve. He's won every single belt. Not at the same time, but he's won every single belt you can win in boxing. So there weren't that many boxes to tick. This was the last one. And if you can't tick this one because of what's happened, what's the one to stay? Like I've always said, get in, get rich, get out. He's got in, he's made a lot of money. Maybe it is time to go. Maybe.
Ade, with this news, do you feel like the card is going to stay on?
Yeah, look, there's a lot of talk about it staying on. There's a guy called Filip Hrgović, unbeaten Croatian, very, very good fighter. I know behind the scenes they are trying to push for Hrgović to fight Usyk, but it's only 2 weeks away. I mean, unless Hrgović has been in the gym training, it's a big ask for him to kind of fight Alexander Usyk on 2 weeks. But you have to take it. I mean, if Hrgović gets the call to take it, this is an opportunity you can't turn down. It's big money. You're fighting one of the best heavyweights of this era. You take it. And not only that, but you want to take it for the other fighters on the undercard who are not getting paid.
But Ade, can he be ready? Can he be ready this quickly? No,
he can't be. That's the honest answer.
Right.
He can get ready to an extent. He can get in shape, but normal fight camps are like 8 to 12 weeks. We're asking him to kind of do all that in 2 weeks and do all that against Alexander Usyk. it's going to be very, very difficult.
Listen, Ade, you mentioned there that this cut looks like it's going to be months. When serious did you think, if he is going to return to the ring, when do you think that could potentially be?
I think you're at the earliest, Jace, you're looking at June. I think a cut like that, the stitches, then for the stitches to come out, it might need a bit of plastic surgery as well. And then you've got to be allowed to spar again. And then you've got to hope that it doesn't open up again in sparring. I think you're looking at the earliest of summer. Right. And that's a long time away. And that's why if you're Usyk, do you sit on it and wait till the summer, or do you fight? And if I'm Usyk, I fight because I've been training for 10 weeks to fight. And then who knows what happens? Does Usyk lose? Does he get injured? So many suggestions and answers can come up from this.
What did you make of Frank Warren when he asked about Usyk? He didn't seem too happy that Usyk may well move on. I mean, you can't blame him, right? He's got his career to look after. Yeah,
he's got to, and Frank would probably do the same. Yeah, or he's fighting to do the same if he promoted Alexander Usyk. I mean, if you're Usyk, you've been waiting for this fight for a long time. Again, you've been in camp, you've done everything you needed to do. You know, the promo for the fight was fantastic. You've ticked all the boxes you can tick. You want to fight. As a fighter, you want to fight. And if, not only that, but he loses out on a massive payday. I mean, what should he do? He surely should fight Hrgovic. If Hrgovic is put in front of him as an option, you take it because you want to get paid and you want to fight. And I think Frank would do the same if it was his fighter.
Ade, listen, I want to pick your brains. I know you're out in the States at the moment in Vegas. Dan Aziz takes on Joshua Buatsi this weekend. I'm guessing you're going to catch up with it. You'll talk about where you are with Conor Benn. Who's going to win this one? That's light heavyweight. It's the biggest British fight right now at that division.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic fight. Two guys that are unbeaten. Joshua Buatsi, who obviously look Olympian, fantastic fighter, maybe should have been a bit further ahead of his development, shall I say. Like, I thought he would have been fighting for a world title by now, but great fighter, great guy. Dan Aziz has done it the hard way, right? It's come from area level fights, English, British, and now on the cusp of maybe, if he wins this, fighting for a world title. I have to edge to Buatsi. I think Buatsi is the better boxer, but this is going to be war from the very first minute. Two guys that know each other well, they've sparred each other, and they're going to go head on immediately with each other. Fantastic fight, and obviously it's live on talkSPORT as well, so look, should be a good one.
And Ade, you're in the States at the moment. Conor Benn's redemption arc, this is part of it, I think. How are you feeling about that fight?
Yeah, that's the fight he should win. He takes on an American called Peter Dobson, unbeaten. But in terms of where Peter is and where Conor wants to be, it's a fight where I feel like Conor should get it done in the early rounds, maybe 4 or 5. But it's dangerous. I mean, he's fighting someone that's a live dog in there, someone that isn't past his best, someone that isn't on the retirement run, someone that he knows, and this is Peter Dobson, if he wins, then he changes his own career and his own life. So look, he should get it done. Should be a good fight. The fight card's a good one as well. Looking forward to it. It's a good day of boxing. Good night of boxing.
We saw last weekend, I think it was last weekend, Natasha Jonas beat Michaela Mayer. Women's boxing now is right at the very, very top. Anyone that loves the sport. Caroline Dubois is on the undercard, of course, Dan Aziz taking on Buatsi. How good is she going to be, and what is the ceiling for her?
Guaranteed future world champion.
Right.
She's that good, that special. Incredible fighter, aggressive, can punch, which you don't really see a lot of in female boxing. Doesn't want to go out there just to win on points, wants to go out there and hurt her opponents, which is quite rare. She's got that aggressive streak in her. And she's a girl as well. When you look at her physically, she's very imposing as well. She'll be someone that goes through the weight classes. She won't just be a world champion at her current weight. She'll go up a few divisions as well. Yeah. But honestly, bank it. If she's not a world champion this year, then something's gone wrong somewhere because she's that special.
Ade, I'm going to let you get back to the strip.
Thank you very much.
Are you out tonight?
Might be.
Understood, Ade. Have a good time.
Yeah. Send me some pics. Ade, take care, bud. Enjoy. Safe journey home.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.